So let me get straight to it. No introduction. I want to talk about things that I don't like, right? I'm not talking about the actual documentary, Am I Racist? I don't really care too much about that. I don't like what the Hollywood Reporter did in relation to that movie. And so I'm going to throw the post up and then I'm going to read a bit of it here to you. So in this post from the Hollywood Reporter, they say, though the Am I Racist documentary film from the conservative media site, The Daily Wire, has become one of the highest grossing docs in the past decade, top entertainment outlets have declined to review it until now. We can stop right there and just with the until now, like, I'm going to get to it. Let's get back to it. It goes on to say guest columnist Joel Stein ventures into a not so packed theater in Burbank and tries to keep an open mind. So I'm going to stop there. I think that's good enough. When we talk about the idea that your guest columnist is doing something so brave and so bold by reviewing a movie, let's stop it, y'all. I really hate the idea that politics can bleed into movies and movie reviews. I'm a person who my politics can kind of go any way I decided to go. Sometimes I think more in lines with conservatives. Sometimes I think more in lines with liberals. But what I never think of is what are the politics of the people who made this movie. That's so aggravating to me that people are now doing this in 2024. So I don't like the fact that they're pretending that this columnist is brave. I also don't like the fact that larger websites and larger entertainment reviewers, like movie reviewers, refusing to review the movie. I don't like the idea that they suggest that they have to try to keep an open mind, but also picking on the film and trying to insinuate that its numbers are inflated somehow, some way, because the theater was not so packed. So like if you one leg you're trying to say, oh, our guy is gonna try to be non-biased, but then you're already picking on the movie and its box office numbers in your post. Like, can you just stop? Can you just stop? Send somebody to review the movie, let them review the movie, post your little article. I can't stand the idea that they made a big deal out of reviewing a movie. Now, talking a little bit more about the Daily Wire. So the biggest video on my channel, if you click most views, is going to be a trailer reaction to Run, Hide, Fight. Now, I didn't know who made that. I never knew what the Daily Wire was 3 or 4 years ago whenever I did that video. That was my best friend, always on YouTube, saw the trailer, sent it to me and said, hey, you're a teacher. You should call this a Teacher Reacts To and do the video. And I said, what is it? He said, I don't want to tell you. I want you to get a real reaction and record it and just give your thoughts. And so I did that. And that really blew up the channel, really helped me to get where I wanted to go with the channel. And I liked the movie. I thought the movie was okay. If I was to watch it again and use my little rating scale and use numbers and all that I kind of developed over time, yes, I probably wouldn't be as nice to the movie, but I didn't care about Daily Wire. That didn't matter to me. I watched the movie. I saw Thomas Jane, school shooter movie. I'm a teacher. I should react to that. I should give my thoughts on that. And that's all it should be. It shouldn't be this political stance and being so brave as to venture in to watch a conservative documentary. Like, that's so to me. I'll also say when it comes to the Daily Wire and the movies that they're putting out, like, if something is good, is good. So one of my friends, a more conservative leaning friend, had really encouraged me to do more movies that were produced by the Daily Wire. And I told him, like I told another person who left a comment on one of my videos about watching the Am I Racist or What's a Woman, like they encouraged me to watch those and review those just to get the views. And I was like, yeah, on one hand, that's good, but I don't want to watch something that I normally wouldn't watch just to get views. Like, I don't want to become a shill in that way. And so I did see a clip of What is a Woman, and it was hilarious. I think that movie, that documentary, probably is very funny. The Am I Racist one, again, I'm gonna be quite frank, I don't really like Matt Walsh. I don't really follow them like that. And so I'm not gonna go out my way to watch it. The What is a Woman, though, I probably should have did that one because I really laughed really hard. But at the same time, I laughed because I felt like it was a mean-spirited joke. But how much am I willing to endure 90 minutes of mean-spirited jokes? And so that's ultimately the reason why I didn't do that one, even though I chuckled quite a bit. And the idea, and this is one more thing, I'm sorry, y'all, one more thing. The idea that bias shouldn't exist when you're reviewing a movie. Please stop. Like, please stop with that, because everybody's biases impact how they feel and how they receive a movie. So I'll refer to another pretty big video on my channel. I reviewed a movie called The Boy Behind the Door. It was produced by Shudder, kind of like an indie film. I call that movie trash. Now, this was way back before I really started writing and like documenting all the scores, and I didn't actually have a score system like you might see on the screen right now. But over time, I developed that score system, and honestly, if I went back watched that movie based on just my memory, it would probably still be in the trash category, but I would have better legs to stand on to call it that, and it probably wouldn't come across as so disrespectful as a lot of people took it. Now, the reason why I say bias matters is because before I watched that movie, I looked at Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I understand how Rotten Tomatoes work. It had a 96% when I read the reviews, and I saw that and said, oh, it's like 20 different people. So of 20 people, 96% of those people liked this movie. These are critics. It must be good. And so I got my wife. That was the big thing. Like, to get my wife to watch something sometimes is a task. This was supposed to be a horror. And so we watched the movie, and like an hour in, we was like, what is this? And why isn't it over yet? I don't like it. And we had a horrible experience watching it. And so when I recorded on it, it was all emotion. And hey, this was not good. But it was the bias that made me feel so harshly about it. It was an inflated thought. And just like this writer for The Hollywood Reporter is going to go in with his own preconceived notions, and those are going to paint how he views the movie. And so why even pretend? Just be real. We watched it. We didn't like it. And we didn't like it because of these reasons. And yes, those are our biases. Just let it be what it is. And so those are my thoughts. I like Jeremy Jahns, because Jeremy Jahns just watch stuff and he just review it. No matter who made it, it just is what it is. And that's the way I'm going to choose to go as well. So if I happen to watch any of those, I'll do a video. And if I don't, I won't. And I don't care who made it. And that's all we got for this one. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.